Nobody's talking about it, but the Los Angeles Chargers might be the most dangerous team nobody's ready for. After years of falling short, mismanaged potential, and wasted prime talent, this franchise has quietly rebuilt itself from the inside out. And now, with Jim Harbaugh calling the shots, the Chargers aren't just aiming to compete, they're preparing to hit the AFC in the mouth. Everything about this offseason screams one thing: they're done waiting. And when you look closer, you'll realize something even more shocking. This team didn't just get better. They got tougher, faster, and hungrier. The era of excuses is over. Harbaugh walked in with one message: your past doesn't matter. He didn't draft these players. He didn't care about old loyalties or familiar names. What he cared about was building a football team that could punch back. And it started with bold moves nobody expected. Keenan Allen, gone. Austin Eckler, out. But here's the twist. These weren't setbacks. They were sacrifices. The Chargers weren't trying to hold on to what was comfortable. They were making space for something new. They went all in on youth, power, and trench warfare. And if you think this is just another slow rebuild, think again. This team isn't planning for the future. They're coming for it now. But the most dangerous part? This new Chargers offense isn't being built around flash or fantasy stats. It's being engineered for playoff football. For years, they were labeled soft, high-powered, but never built to last. Harbaugh changed all of that in one offseason, and it starts with the ground game. Because if you want to understand how different this team is now, you need to see how they're building from the ground up, and what they've done in the backfield might just change everything. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Chargers and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 500 likes on this video. The Chargers didn't just change names on the roster, they changed their entire offensive DNA. For the first time in years, this offense isn't built around throwing the ball 40 times a game. It's built to wear defenses down, to control the tempo, and to punish teams in the trenches. The flashy screen passes and shotgun-first identity are gone. In their place is something Harbaugh trusts: a ground-heavy attack that makes life easier for the quarterback and harder for everyone else. This is the kind of offense that travels in January. And it starts with the running backs. You won't hear many people talking about it, but the Chargers might have built one of the most balanced backfields in the AFC. Najee Harris brings durability and downhill power, a back who's rushed for over 1,000 yards in every season of his career. Pair that with Amarian Hampton, the explosive rookie from North Carolina who averaged 6 yards per carry and totaled 1,660 rushing yards last season. Harbaugh now has two backs who can split carries, force linebackers to commit early, and keep drives alive deep into the fourth quarter. This isn't just a backfield, it's a statement. And when you add play action, RPO packages, and short yardage conversions into the mix, it opens up a completely different world for this offense. The Chargers used to fold in high-pressure downs because they couldn't trust the run. That's no longer the case. Now, when it's third and short, they don't have to drop Herbert back and pray. They have the bodies to line up and shove the defense backwards. And this shift in identity sets the stage for something even bigger, because behind this new run game is a quarterback who's finally being protected like a franchise cornerstone. For years, the Chargers treated pass protection like an afterthought, and Justin Herbert paid the price for it. But now, that's no longer the case. Harbaugh didn't just want to run the ball better. He wanted to build a wall. And what's forming in front of Herbert might quietly be one of the most underrated offensive lines in the league. The difference is night and day. This isn't about patching holes. It's about finally giving the franchise quarterback the time he needs to operate without running for his life every snap. Everything starts with the bookends. Joe Alt arrived as a first-round pick and instantly looked like a 10-year pro. Paired with Rashawn Slater, the Chargers have two tackles who can anchor each edge and erase elite pass rushers from the game plan. But it doesn't stop there. Mekhi Becton, a powerful lineman from Philadelphia, comes in with a reputation for finishing blocks and bullying defenders off the snap. If he stays healthy, he's a steal. On the inside, Zion Johnson is now taking reps at center, a bold move that could stabilize the middle after years of inconsistency. With Bradley taking over at left guard, this unit finally looks complete. And here's the part that changes everything. Herbert might finally be able to throw from a clean pocket. That means deeper drops, longer reads, and more time to manipulate coverages. It also means fewer hits, fewer injuries, and fewer moments where the entire season hinges on one blown protection. This isn't just an upgrade. It's the first time Herbert will play behind a line that's built to protect him, not just survive the week. And now that the foundation is finally stable, the next question becomes clear. What can Herbert become when he's no longer carrying the offense on his back? Justin Herbert's career has been anything but normal. He was never eased in, never handed a perfect system, and never protected the way other top quarterbacks were. But somehow, he's still produced at an elite level. What makes his story even more wild is how often people forget just how much chaos he's been forced to carry. Since entering the league, he's played under 3 different head coaches and 4 offensive coordinators. He's been sacked 171 times since 2020. He's battled through fractured ribs, a damaged thumb, and a rotating door of injured wideouts, and yet he keeps showing up and delivering. Last season, with a new playbook, a weakened receiver group, and limitations due to injury, Herbert still threw 23 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. That kind of efficiency often gets ignored because he wasn't throwing for 5,000 yards. But here's the truth, he wasn't asked to. The Chargers didn't need fireworks, they needed stability, and Herbert gave them exactly that. Even while playing hurt, he made the offense functional, competitive, and dangerous enough to hang with top-tier teams. That's not luck, that's elite control, discipline, and football IQ. But what nobody's talking about is what happens next. For the first time in his career, Herbert enters a season with a coaching staff that's building around him, not asking him to save everything. With a run game, a line that can protect, and a system designed for complementary football, he no longer has to force plays just to keep the team alive. And that shift could be the key to unlocking a version of Herbert we haven't seen yet. The raw talent was never in question, the support finally matches it. And that's where things start to get dangerous for the rest of the AFC. The departures may have grabbed headlines, but the real story in Los Angeles is who's stepping up. Ladd McConkey emerged as Herbert's top target, with 1,149 yards and 7 touchdowns as a rookie, while Quentin Johnston developed into a more reliable WR2 with 711 yards and 8 touchdowns. Add deep threat Trey Harris, who averaged 17 yards per catch in college, and suddenly this receiver room has a blend of speed, timing, and upside. They may not be stars yet, but they're young, hungry, and fitting together better than any Chargers group in recent memory. Still, with all this emerging talent, one name could define how far the offense actually goes: Greg Roman. Known for building power run offenses and helping Lamar Jackson win MVP, Roman brings structure, but his style must evolve. If he adjusts to Herbert's strengths and modernizes his scheme, this offense could take off. If not, it risks wasting one of the most complete supporting casts Herbert has ever had. Greg Roman has built a physical, run-first identity in Los Angeles, but the real challenge now is adaptability. While flashes of creativity showed promise last season, the play calling often slipped into predictable patterns that limited the offense. With Justin Herbert at quarterback and a loaded roster around him, sticking to outdated tendencies could hold the team back. Roman has never coached a talent quite like Herbert, a passer with elite arm strength, size, and the poise to dismantle defenses from the pocket. If Roman modernizes his scheme to match Herbert's strengths, this offense could become one of the most dangerous in the league. But if he doesn't, it risks falling short again when it matters most. On the defensive side, the Chargers may have lost Joey Bosa, but they've reloaded with youth and speed. Tuli Tuipulotu, Bud Dupree, and rookie Kyle Kennard headline a revamped pass rush built to bring constant pressure. Jesse Minter's defense thrives on versatility, especially in the secondary, where Derwin James, Elijah Molden, Cam Hart, and Dante Jackson lead a unit capable of shifting coverage and playing fast. This defense isn't built around one name, it's a balanced, aggressive group that proved last year it can win games on its own. In a conference loaded with elite quarterbacks, that versatility might be the Chargers' most underrated weapon. But now it's your turn. Is this finally the season where Justin Herbert silences the critics and delivers in the playoffs? Has Jim Harbaugh already done enough to change the DNA of the Chargers forever? Or will old habits return when the pressure is highest? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you're fired up about what this team could become, hit that like button and subscribe for more bold NFL breakdowns just like this. And as always, stay locked in, stay curious, and we'll catch you in the next one.